Okay, so this is CAD Challenge 2. So, for this CAD project, I decided to create this puppy called Pugsheen. Uh, this was mainly done just because, one, I just thought it was cute, like, honestly. That's probably the biggest reason. The second reason was because a lot of, like, cartoon sort of characters have that, what do you call it? That really nice sort of, I guess the outlines, it just make it look nice, I guess. And I was thinking, how could I do the same? How could I add those outlines in? Uh, so I really wanted to mess around with that. It was a pretty useful project as well because it taught me a lot about perspective modeling. And perspective modeling is used a lot in like a lot of video games. A lot of times where like when it comes to animations, you don't want to spend too long trying to make stuff. Sometimes you kind of want to just cheat it here and there, or like the whole idea of working smart, not hard. A lot of times you want to do the animation to save time, save resources, and all that. A good example is in a game called Fighter Z, Dragon Ball Z. In this game, when you do these things called dramatic finishes, which are like canonical like finishes and stuff, the point is during those like these like big like grandiose cutscenes, you see like the characters getting ready to charge these like ultimate attacks and all that. The point is they're all from like specific frames or specific, not frames, but they're from specific perspectives, I guess. As soon as you change that perspective just slightly, like in a model editor, you realize how disfigured the model actually is. Like sometimes you have like these really cool close-ups, sometimes the bodies are just really super elongated, but it helps to create really cool models, I guess. And really cool like effects, I guess, in animation. So with the creation of Pugsheen, what I first did was I went back to soft body modeling, which was pretty chill. I took a canvas just to help make it easy to model and speed up time, because again, I'm trying to work smart, not hard. I probably could have made it without a canvas and just using multiple references, but I'm not super confident with that yet, as as if I was modeling something that was a rigid body instead, because rigid bodies is a lot more easier to do that. So after this, I utilized soft body tools just to create the main body, the ears, the tail, and the feet. This was relatively simple with the shapes I was using. They weren't too complicated. I used just a lot of cuboids, a lot of manipulation of the edges, sometimes the faces, but mainly the points. I also learned about inserting points as well, because inserting points is really useful because you're able to manipulate the entire. Like if you need to make something curved in free bodies, because I'm not super good with it yet. I'm not sure if there's like a direct way you can do it, so I just use points over and over and over again to like just do that basically. But yeah, so from here, what I decided to do afterwards was create an offset plane, build the face, build the extra details on the paws, the tail, and the feet, and just, split body them, just so I could build it on the curved surfaces. And from there, it was pretty straightforward overall. Like doing all of that, there wasn't anything too complicated with it, nothing to really mess up. Because of the whole CAD Challenge 1 I did with Sue Sakamoto, it just became pretty straightforward to do and felt pretty natural. The new part was adding the outline. Now for the outline of Pugsheen, what I did was I made a new offset plane, and then from there I built I guess you could say like a ring around that basically matched the whole body. I like hid some parts of the body, well not parts of the body, but I hid stuff like the tail, the ears, so it doesn't get in the way. And I essentially traced that all around using the fit point spline tool. Then from there I used the offset, the offset tool. Actually, I did use the offset tool. The offset tool to essentially, I don't even know if it's called offset tool. I don't remember what it's actually called. The point is, I used the tool to essentially create another copy of that same ring, but just bring it in closer, so I reduced the radius of it. And then from there, I then used that body, and I did the whole split body stuff again. The only issue of this when I did it, this is kind of where the whole perspective modeling comes into play. I did it, and I was like, yo, the back just didn't look right. I realized it just wouldn't look nice. So I was like to myself, hey, maybe we'll try a bit of perspective modeling. So what I did was, in terms of my appearances, mainly I just used ABS, just because I'm still like trying to figure out how to use like custom textures and all that. I don't really know how to do that at the moment. So I kind of just went back and I just used brown, but like a dark brown for the outline. But I also used it to cover the whole back of the body because I wasn't planning to show anyone that. Then from here, after all of that, I decided to get a bit creative, like I did in the Sue Sakamoto project, and try and find more custom HDRIs to use. That's something I also want to learn to do because I've seen like really cool ones in Blender where people use like custom environments to make stuff, and I don't know how they do that, but I want to figure that out eventually. The point is though, I went back, I imported, I thought about a good environment for a dog, and I was like, hey, maybe like autumn leaves, have it just rolling around. And I used that, I flattened the ground, turned off all reflections, of course. And the reason I flattened the ground was just because I was kind of like, it'd be kind of weird if he was just in the air. And that's also where the whole like idea of rolling like in the leaves came, because when I turned, well, because he was on like his front face, so he was standing up, and then I realized he might look more better just like on the leaves, just like chilling. So I did that, a bunch of editing later, and yeah, like it was all done afterwards. Overall, it was pretty like a simple project. It wasn't as difficult as making Sue, for example, but I think one thing I've learned with modeling as well, just in general, especially during my time at university, is just if you want to get better at CAD, it's just more about making stuff you enjoy. Like, don't just make stuff just for like, it needs to be something engineering related, it needs to be related to my career, basically. Of course, do that, but if you want to get into grips with like using a vast amount of different tools or anything, make stuff you enjoy. It doesn't have to always be super complicated, super technical. Some of these other CAD challenges, when I do speak about them, I'm not going to say what they are, you just have to see. Some of them, it took a lot more effort. One of them was very, very, very difficult and very tough, but they were all stuff I've enjoyed. And yeah, like the whole point is I want to keep doing this. I want to keep getting better and better to the point I'm able to make even more complicated stuff. But yeah, stay tuned for my next video. Hopefully I actually make a video and release that, I guess. So yeah.